Good evening, volleyball fans, and welcome live here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network, here on YouTube.com, as well as the IHSAA Champions Network. Going to hear from Delta High School here in Muncie, Indiana, here with tonight's 2026 season opener. Again, Wapahani and Delta. Story history, no doubt, that, you know, very, very good volleyball programs through the years, and there's no doubt that that's exactly the same that I think that both teams would like to think of themselves as. Obviously, you know, when you look here at Wapahani's side of things, it's it's definitely going to be different. You know, you had a whole entire team last year that graduated, and now we're moving on to bigger and better things. So now you've got to figure out how to reconfigure this team and, you know, and really put it all together, and it's going to be interesting. So, you know, we'll see what happens. But nonetheless, here again, I'm your play-by-play broadcaster, commentator Brandon Morvillius, alongside here cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. Our Raiders Live pregame show here, presented by Alfred Rods and Customs. You know, the Raiders in a I guess maybe a rebuilding situation. If you really look at, you know, again, the makeup of this roster, considering, you know, and I mentioned it during our TV broadcast this evening, we've got 3 seniors, 1 junior, 3 sophomores, and 7 freshmen that make up the varsity team. It's a young team, very youthful, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I think that there's definitely a good skill set to really start with right here. And again, you know, we have Haven Gates now at the helm here for Wapahani, coming back, you know, from her playing days. Obviously a state champion here at Wapahani. Estella Davis, she's a varsity assistant, state champion here at Wapahani. So they're coming back home, and they're bringing a wealth of knowledge and, you know, not only from how to play the game the right way and how to teach how to teach these girls to build their skill set, but also, you know, hard work plays a lot into that. And, you know, it's hard to teach good work ethic. You're either ready to work every day or you're not. And if you're ready to work, you're going to get better. And, you know, hopefully these girls are eager to do that every single day, whether it be in practice or in the games. You know, you're here to get better every single day, and it's going to be exciting to see how things really shape, you know, as a collective unit for this team, how this team really shapes itself here throughout the course of the year, you know, or you know, is it just going to be, you know, okay with being mediocre, or, you know, are we, you know, excited every single day to get better and find ways to get better, and then obviously, you know, start to reap the benefits of that, you know, that hard work and that great work ethic that you have. You know, I guess essentially time will tell, but these girls, again, they have the necessary attributes and skills that, you know, that you have to play the game of volleyball and to play it well. Now it's just about fine-tuning those and really starting to push the gas right here. And again, you have the leadership at the top there with Haven Gates as your head coach, Stella Davis, and then you have Anthony Franklin there as your JV coach. All going to be great pillars for this team to build that foundation again, and to bring it to what has always been a very well-oiled machine, a very successful volleyball program out here at Wapahani. So excited to see not only what we do tonight, but from here going forward, because this will not be some sort of finished product. What you see here tonight doesn't necessarily have any kind of indication on how the season will go, win, lose, or draw. You know, one game does not make your season, but it does help you get an idea of where you're starting from. Excuse me. But with that being said, I think that these girls, I would hope to think they're excited. Again, even though it is a very youthful team, it's a brand new season, a brand new opportunity under a brand new head coach. Anything's possible, but you've got to put it all out there on the table and see what happens. But I think that there's definitely reason to be excited and optimistic. Is it always going to be pretty? No. Is it always going to be ugly? No. But again, I think that if you go into this being negative, then that's not a very good starting point. I'll tell you that much. So I know I'm excited. Redbeard's excited to get this season underway, and we're excited to be back for year number 16 live here on the WHS Network. So please stay right here with us. Again, we'll have tonight's rosters as well as the national anthem, and then tonight's first serve coming up right here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. All right, folks, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. Again, Not quite sure how they're going to do it first. I didn't know if they was going to do rosters first or national anthem first. So we're gonna wait for the PA announcer to kind of go over that here in just a minute. So if we end up doing the national anthem first, then I will pause again, do the national anthem, and then I'll come back on the air, and then we'll get back to announcing the rosters. So we'll wait and see. Okay, so we're going to take a brief pause in the action, and we'll be back. All right, folks, welcome back. All right, so now we're going to take a look here at tonight's rosters. First for your Wapahani Lady Raiders. Number 1, Savannah Fitzgerald. Number 2, Maya Mitchell. Number 3, Shaylee Dargo. Number 4, Kaylee Clements. Number 5, Addie Barnes. Number 6, Noah Baker. Number 7, Journey Maines. Number 8, Lainey Ledbetter. Number 10 is Kenzie Reed. They have the wrong name here on the roster sheet. So number 10, Kenzie Reed. Number 11, Lila Parker. Number 13, Sophia Lash. Number 14, Hallie Parks. Number 15, Maddie Duncan. And number 16, Sydney Van Devender. Again, that is your Wapahani Raiders, again coached by Haven Gates, assisted by Estella Davis and Anthony Franklin. And now we'll take a look here at the Delta Lady Eagles. We've got number 1, Riley Kelly. Number 2, Sienna Richards. Number 3, Kinley Davis. Number 4, Bailey Rich. Number 5, Sophie Overholt. Number 6, Macy Ramsey. Number 7, Paisley Terry. Number 8, Nevaeh Inyart. Number 9, Laura McKee. Number 10, Briley Brooks. Number 11, Madeline Polito. Number 12, Shaylin Davis. Number 13, Cameron Berry. Number 14, Amira Wilson. Number 15, Gracie Maurer. Number 16, Julia Hendershot. Number 17, Addie Carter. Number 18, Hadley Spencer. Number 19, Kyra Murray. And number 20, Jaylee Pointer. Again, the Delta Eagles are coached by Brooklyn Goodsell and assisted by Katie Williams and Allison Ruddick. So again, that is tonight's rosters here from Delta High School. We'll step aside, and we'll be back with tonight's first serve coming up here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. All right, folks, welcome back. So now the 2026 season is now upon us right here to get this varsity season underway. Again, sure do appreciate all of you for tuning in here tonight. Again, while we still have an opportunity here, we would like to, again, thank some of our sponsors here tonight. Again, we'd like to send out a huge thank you to Air Park Door. Again, Air Park Door, located at 321 West Ontario Drive in Muncie, Indiana. They've been voted as Muncie's Quest for the best for the level of professionalism and knowledge they possess, along with the quality service they provide for a reasonable price. For more information, check them out on Facebook and give them a call at 765-741-3667 for all of your garage door needs. All right, folks, it is game time here from Delta, and Addie Barnes will get us underway, and that will be a service there to get us started here tonight at 7:02 p.m. here on this Tuesday, August the 18th of 2026. Again, I'm play-by-play broadcaster Brandon Morvillius. Alongside here with me, cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. Back for our 16th season right here live on the WHS Network. So received right there by Ledbetter. Barnes on there to, that was number 6, Noah Baker. And a net violation early on here for Wapahani. Received again there by Ledbetter. Nice up right there. Barnes, left side again there to Nola Baker. Puts that one down in play for the first point of this 2026 season here for your Wapahani Raiders. It'll be number 7, Journey Maines, back to serve. And that one in the net as well. So back-to-back serving aces here for serving errors, here for Wapahani. As we'll have number 1, Riley Kelly, back to serve. And that one will now be a serving error as well, this time for Delta. We'll have number 1, Savannah Fitzgerald, now in for the Raiders, as Kaylee Clements will have a seat. And that one served out of bounds, or hit out of bounds, So the point there for the Raiders. Set up there by number 17, Carter. Fitzgerald now on the Parks, and again, he's kind of falling backwards right there, trying to get that one over the net. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that time around, so 4-3. The Eagles back on top right here. Here's number 14, Amira Wilson, back to serve. Received by Clements. Baker's there. Maines will get it over. Free ball action for the Eagles. Set up to the left side. That was Bailey Rich on the attack, and she will collect on the kill to make this a 5-3 Eagles lead. Get Wilson back behind the service line. Received there by Clements. Barnes, right side attack to Baker with the kill. So back come the Raiders the other way, 5-4 now, as Nola will be back to serve. And Nola here in her sophomore season had a great freshman campaign, and looking to only take another step in the right direction right here, as the Raiders will serve that one out of bounds. So heck, out of the 6 points, half of those points have been service errors here for the Raiders. That is a killer. So we'll have number 7, Paisley Terry, now back to serve for Delta. entering the game here for the first time. And that will also be a serving error. I feel like Oprah Winfrey right now. You get a serving error. You get a serving error. You get a serving error. Holy cow. And there's another one. So number 18, Hadley Spencer, now in the ball game for Delta for the first time this evening. They're on the front row. Bailey Rich back there to serve. Received by Ledbetter. Baker on to Maines. Bring in the hammer. Yes. Heck yes. That'll be my second heck yes of the season now. First one came there in the first set of the JV game. We'll have number 14. That is Hallie Parks back in here for Wapahani. And there we go. There's an ace for the Raiders. And that will tie it up here at 7. So Clements with the ace. And out of bounds right there, another error. I'm going to start sounding like a broken record here. That was number 6, Macy Ramsey, back there to serve just a moment ago. As we'll have a net violation here on Wapahani. So another point back in favor here of Delta. On top here by a pair, 9-7 here in this first set this evening. Again, from Delta High School. Great crowd on hand here for both sides, which, again, that's expected. So an ace right there against some miscommunication, looks like here for Wapahani. Kind of spelled their demise this time around. Received by Barnes. Clements unable to get there. So that is 4 in a row now for the Eagles to put them in the driver's seat. Barnes receives that one. Baker on the mains, but blocked up front right there by, I couldn't tell if that was Wilson or Carter, but that ball deflected off of there on the block. Nice job right there by Parks getting the hand up there. On the attack, Ledbetter with the dig. Now Parks on to Barnes. Dug out this time, set up to number 18 out of Spencer and out of bounds. Great job there by Wapahani. Great court recognition. Recognizing exactly where they was at on the court and understanding that ball was heading out of bounds. And that one was just a well-placed ball right there by Addie Carter. So 13-8 is your score. Left side there by Baker. Dropping the hammer again. So the Raiders still sticking here within striking distance, down by 4. We'll have number 7, Journey Maines, back to serve. Received by Rich. Set up there to number 18, Spencer, and off the arm of Ledbetter and out of bounds. So Spencer there with a kill. And in comes number 1, Riley Kelly, as a substitution for the Eagles, and she'll drop back behind the serving line. Received there by Maines. Barnes with a set to Ledbetter. There's Clements. Barnes back to Baker, out of bounds. No touch by the Eagles. Point there for Delta, and now expand that lead out to 6. Again, you do not want this thing getting too out of hand. And Kelly, I think there might have been a little mistiming right there, but it still worked out well there for the young lady. Ends up being an ace. Unfortunate, obviously, there for Wapahani, but a great thing for her. And right into the net. So a much-needed point here for Wapahani to hopefully get things back going in the right direction here. They was down by only about 4 points. And then just a little bit of string of miscues right here. So hopefully Hallie Parks can get us back going. Again, like I mentioned, here in the right direction. Rich from the left side, but stuffed. Nola Baker with the block. They're on the right side. Her and Fitzgerald both getting up on that. And again, gets the block there on the right side to now make this a 5-point game. And now Parks will serve that one out of bounds. So 17-11. It'll be number 14, Amira Wilson, back there to serve. Mishandled by Baker. So an ace here for Wilson as once again the Eagles will extend this lead to 7. Again, tying the largest margin so far on the night. Hopefully the Raiders have an answer. Clemens shanks that one, but right there is Laney Ledbetter. Baker gets it over. Free ball here for the Eagles. Rich there from the back row. Miss hits that one right into the net, and the Raiders will take full advantage right here as they narrow the gap now to 6 after the miscue. Nola Baker now back to serve for Wapahani. Again, tonight's game brought to you by Puerto Vallarta Mexican Restaurant on Broadway. Make sure to stop in there. Get all those wonderful savory dishes. And definitely favorites of mine be the old chicken fajita nachos. If you guys haven't had that, I highly recommend it. And again, the big things here at Puerto Vallarta Mexican Restaurant on Broadway Avenue. So point there goes to the Eagles. 19-12 ball game here in set number 1. In comes Paisley Terry. Okay, so that is Addie Carter, number 7 on the roster sheet. They have her number 17. So I don't know if I'm assuming then Paisley Terry is number 17 on the court, because she is number 7 on the roster sheet. Again, we're trusting that the roster sheet is correct. So for those of you at home, especially if you're a Delta fan and you're watching and you're thinking, what the heck is this crazy guy talking about? Well, I'm going off of what the roster sheet says. So don't be mad at the messenger. So we will have number 8, Laney Ledbetter, back to serve. At least here in a moment we will. There's a brief chat there between a Delta player there and the head or the up referee, Sean Sherfy, which another serving error for Wapahani continues to shoot ourselves in the foot right here. But again, back to our referees. 2 of the very best. Sean Sherfy, our up referee here tonight. Bobby Bohr, our down referee. Mercy sakes. 2 great guys, 2 outstanding officials. I'm known them for a long time and glad to see them still doing what they do. And that has been great. So I have a timeout. Again, after a string of miscues here for the Raiders, have really dug themselves a mighty hole that they are going to have to dig themselves out of here in this first set. 21-13. We'll step aside and we'll be back here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. All right, folks, welcome back. Again, they end up coming out of the timeout well early, and so we got on the air a little bit late. It's now 23-13. Wapahani hit the ball off of the antenna, the referee said. Now 22-14 at the serving air. The Raiders will send Kaylee Clements back behind the service line. Received there by Ramsey, set on to the left side. Number 18, Spencer, on the attack. Or at least that's who we think that is. I don't know. That's what it has on the roster sheet, but another miscue here for Wapahani, now a net violation. So, again, these little errors, unfortunately, have really cost Wapahani here in this first set. We'll have Sophia Lash now in here in the ball game for the Raiders, seeing her first action here this evening. Received there by Ledbetter. Maines is there. Barnes on the attack. Oh, nicely done, Sophia Lash. Again, ball was set right on top of the net, and she quickly disposed of it. That was an excellent job there by the freshman, Sophia Lash. And a serving error. So set point. I lost track, but I guarantee you we probably had to have had pretty close to about 8 to 10 serving errors in this first set. That is not going to help your case to win any ball game. And that one hit out of bounds, and that will do it here for set number one, as Delta will take this one 25-15. Again, please stay right here with us. Here on the other side of the break, we'll have set number two coming up here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. All right, welcome back here, folks, with our next Home Elite hometown realtor, Courtney Felton, game break. Again, Courtney Felton, your hometown realtor with Next Home Elite Real Estate, proudly supports Wapahani High School athletics and the WHS Network. Whether you're buying your first home, selling your current home, or simply have questions about the local real estate market, Courtney is here to help. Give Courtney a call today at 765-748-6334 and let her make your next move your best move. Courtney wishes all the student athletes and their families a wonderful, successful, and memorable season. And go Raiders. Also a big thanks here tonight. Again, we have a lot of just truly outstanding sponsors like we do every year. Again, we can't do what we do without them. But again, a big thanks here to Statham Exteriors. Again, Statham Exteriors for all your roofing, siding, window, gutter needs. Contact Statham Exteriors at 765-449-2881. Again, they're a proud supporter of Wapahani High School student athletes and the WHS Network. So as we get back to volleyball here for set number 2, again, the Raiders down 1-0. Got a long way to go in this one, so it'll be great to have a good start, and that's exactly what we'll see as Addie Barnes will collect there on the right side kill and make this a 1-0 Wapahani lead. Again, as Addie Barnes will drop back to serve. Again, tonight's game, again, proudly brought to you by Puerto Vallarta Mexican Restaurant on Broadway Avenue in Muncie. Again, Puerto Vallarta, well, definitely one of our favorite restaurants to go to. But they've, since 1994, came to Muncie and provided great savory dishes and fun-filled family environment that has kept you coming back for more for over 3 decades. Again, those savory tacos, fajitas, burritos, nachos, and everything in between. Can't forget about those complimentary chips and salsa as well. Make sure to stop on in there at 3901 North Broadway Avenue in Muncie, Indiana. Call your order in at 765-287-8897 there at Puerto Vallarta Mexican Restaurant on Broadway. So 2-1 Delta. We'll have Riley Kelly back to serve. Received by Clements. Set on the right side there to Maines, and nicely done right there. That was number 6, Macy Ramsey, to get that one back over the net there for the Eagles. Kelly now to the left side to Rich. There's Ledbetter digging it out. Set up to Maines, and Rich is there to dig it. And miss hit, number 15, Gracie Maurer. So great job there by Wapahani, sticking with it right there. Being patient, making good passes, and great job of gathering the point right there as Journey Maines back there to serve. Wilson there at the middle attack. Set on the Ledbetter left side, off the arm of Kelly and out of bounds. So the kill for Laney Ledbetter. As Wapahani now leads at 3-2. Out of bounds on the attack by Ridge. So Wapahani, again now with their largest lead of the night of 2.
Over on 2, Eagles. Delta service, Samira Wilson.
So Wilson back to serve. And it's a miscommunication there on Wapahani's behalf. Will cost them there again. You know, that was something I talked about there in that first set. And again, I wasn't trying to be negative by any means. Again, I'm calling the game. We had obviously a lot of serving errors, had some net violations as well. But the serving errors were a big problem. But, you know, hopefully we can correct things here in set number 2 again. You know, looking to get better every single point, every single set. And, you know, because really, I mean, I thought that we, for the most part, I mean, if we would have conducted business maybe a little bit better and not, you know, hurt ourselves, we was able to hang right in there with them for a good majority of that first set. And then, unfortunately, the wheels just kind of fell off. But, you know, again, for a very young team and a very inexperienced team, that's pretty darn good. I mean, obviously, again, I mentioned it earlier, really the only ones that had much playing time last year, Kaylee Clements, Addie Barnes, Journey Maines, every once in a while, and then, of course, Nola Baker. But, outside of that, that's pretty much about it. So, you go into this ball game and into this season, you kind of expect there to be, a learning curve here for majority, if not all, of these girls. It's a whole new ball game at the varsity level, especially, when you're looking at Delaware County volleyball. They can definitely exploit you pretty quickly if you're not up to the task and not up to their level. The ball hit out of bounds, so 8-5. Received by Maines. There's Barnes, and again, some miscommunication there for Wapahani. Again, Barnes was setting it up there, and then again, nobody was home right there. Nobody went after the ball. So again, a timeout here from the Raiders. We'll stay right here with you during this timeout to once again thank some more of our sponsors here this evening. I'd like to send a big thanks here to another one of our favorite people, and that is Debbie Curtis with Elite Print Services for professionally designed and printed banners and signs. Reach out to Debbie Curtis of Elite Print Services at 765-744-0381. Debbie Curtis is a proud supporter of the WHS Network and Wapahani Raider student athletes. Also, big thanks here to Lipscomb Laboratory. Lipscomb Laboratory is the place to go for all of your custom designs, logos, and embroidery needs. From embroidered hats and garments to t-shirts, we bring your ideas to life. Visit their Facebook page at Lipscomb Laboratory and give them a call at 765-639-5998. So it looks like that down referee Bobby Bohr was looking at what the rotation or the lineup should look like here for Wapahani as far as placement of everybody, and it looks like Wapahani had it correct. He was looking there for a lineup check. So again, these lengthy runs by your opponent, that is where that's where we really start to hurt ourselves even more. And you could say that for anybody after the service there right there, but a nice string of points there for Delta. If you're Wapahani now, you're putting yourself in a really bad spot, but now, you're going to have to get 3-4 points in a row just to get out of. And unfortunately, that wasn't the case this time around because we weren't able to get those 3 or 4 points in a row to get, to get ourselves, not necessarily that we're out of it, but to get ourselves obviously a lot closer. All right, so we'll have a substitution. Number 13, Cameron Berry, now in the ball game, and she'll be back to serve there for Bailey Rich. Received by Ledbetter. Baker on there to Barnes, and that will probably be a carry. Yep, or a lift. Maines, Baker, that was Ledbetter there on the right side attack, and blocked. I couldn't tell if that was Barnes or if it's Gerald that got a hand on that. Either way, it's a block, and it's a point for Wapahani, and that's all that matters. So Bailey Ridgeback in for Delta. Back to serve here for Wapahani, number 8, Laney Ledbetter. Again, the lone junior here for the Raiders. Set up now the right side, but quickly met at the net. That time it was Journey Maines with the block. So back-to-back blocks here for Wapahani. That 6-point lead now down to just 4. Another good serve deep there into the back row. And pushed a little too far. Ball right on top of the net. And the Eagles will not get it back over. Fitzgerald on Wapahani's side of the floor did a really nice job up there on the net when that ball, you know, was 50-50 ball. And she was able to really make it hard there on number 17. And now mishandled there, and that will be an ace here for Ledbetter. And so now Wapahani has answered back here with a string of points just like what Delta had just done previously. So now you're right back essentially into the thick of things here. This is where you can't start having letdowns again. You know, yes, is Delta going to score points? Yes, it's going to happen. But yet again, you can't afford to allow your opponent to score 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 points in a row before you score again. You know, good teams don't do that. They can't allow that to happen, period. That's really tough for anybody to come back from. Wilson gets it up there in the air. Rich there from the back row and gets it done right there as Wapahani was able to block that one right back down there for a point there for the Raiders, 13-12. I believe that was Fitzgerald there on the block. So it'll be Kaylee Clements back to serve. Hallie Parks now back into the ball game for the Raiders. Left side there. Maines got the hands up, and the ball shanked backwards. And that was pretty much the end of that. In comes number 15, Gracie Maurer for Delta. So number 17 back to serve here for Delta. On top here by a pair. Barnes, Baker right back to her. Dug out there. Now Ramsey with a setup. And again off the hand and out of bounds there of Maines. So Hadley Spencer wreaking havoc there on the left side. Maines from the left side, dug out by Ramsey. Ledbetter, Baker, back to Journey. I don't know if that might have been touched there by Clements. It was a good job right there and a nice job there by Barnes to get that one back over. And then Maurer hits that one off the side of her hand and shanks that one wide left and out of bounds. So the Raiders hanging in there. Again, you know, we've seen much of this same thing in the first set as well. You know, Wapahani played them close, and then things went kind of haywire, and you know, obviously Delta was able to end up pushing the throttle, and we was trying to floor the brake. We was trying to stop them, and unfortunately we weren't getting anywhere. So 15-14 right now. Again, that's why you got to put things in the past, learn from it, get better. And so far, Wapahani's been able to do this here in this second set. After a slightly rough start, starting to find their footing here a little bit. Set up there to Wilson, and that ball goes straight down. So a point there for the Eagles. Back in comes number 1, Riley Kelly of Delta. So she will be behind the serving line. And that one was sent well long and out of bounds. A serving error there for Kelly. So Journey Maines will now be the young lady back to serve here for the Raiders. And a good one right there, handled there by Ramsey. Set on to Wilson again, but met at the net by Hallie Parks. And a net violation. So a nice job there by freshman Hallie Parks. Again, getting a hand on it right there, sending it back over the net. And then Delta ends up getting caught there in a very precarious position right there and ends up landing in the net. And now a serving error for the Raiders will put the Eagles back on top here by 1. In comes number 10, Brinley Brooks. It'll be number 14, Amira Wilson back to serve. Received by Maines. Barnes to the middle to Baker. And that is a kill for Nola. Again, Nola hasn't had a huge impact tonight so far, at least from a hitting standpoint. I think that might be her, I don't know, maybe third or fourth kill tonight. I could be wrong, but that's what it seems like anyway. Hallie Parks back to serve. Oh, another serving error. So back to an Eagles 1-point lead. It will be number 3, Kinley Davis, back to serve. Received by Clements, and now we're going to have a rotation violation here on Wapahani. So Baker gets the kill, back to another 1-point lead. Neck and neck we go. The latter third of this second set. Shaked off to the right side, and now we are tied again. So number 18, Hadley Spencer, back in the game for the Eagles. And it'll be Bailey Rich back to serve. Again, head coach Haven Gates now telling Journey Maines to go talk to our up referee here this evening, Mr. Sean Sherfy. Again, I don't know what about. Clements, Maines, Baker gets it over. And that was number 10, Brinley Brooks. In closing moments of this second set, the Eagles in the driver's seat only by a pair. And mishit by Ledbetter. And we're going to have Maya Mitchell now in here for the first time this evening for the Raiders. Mitchell there. Baker on to Barnes. So that is 4 unanswered here by Delta in crunch time. Set up to Maines in the back row. Long. And set point has arrived for the Eagles. Nice job right there. Nice up there from Maines. Barnes gets it over. Left side, that's Spencer. Baker digs it. Clemens will set it up. Barnes tips it over. In the back row to Rich. And that will be all she wrote. Rich kills it for the set 2 victory for the Eagles, 25-19, as they now currently take a 2-0 lead over your Raiders. We'll step aside here, folks, and we'll be back with your third set of play coming up here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. All right, folks, welcome back here with our next Elite Real Estate hometown realtor, Courtney Felton. Game break, again, a 2-0 lead here for the Delta Eagles. Again, we'd like to send a big thanks here again to Courtney Felton. Again, Courtney Felton is your hometown realtor with Next Elite Real Estate and proudly supports Wapahani High School athletics and the WHS Network. Whether you're buying your first home, selling your current home, or simply have questions about the local real estate market, Courtney is here to help. Give her a call today at 765-748-6334 and let her make your next move your best move. Courtney wishes all the student athletes and their families a wonderful, successful, and memorable season. And go Raiders. So as we get back to volleyball here on the WHS Network, set number 3 is set to begin. Again, I'm your play-by-play broadcaster, Brandon Morvillius. Alongside of here with me, cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. Hope all of you have enjoyed the broadcast so far here this evening. Again, wherever you're watching us from, we appreciate you guys. I'm sure our good friend Barbara Wilmoth, all the way down there in South Carolina, I'm sure is tuning in. She usually always is. So we sure do appreciate her. But, again, wherever you're watching us from, just know that we sure do appreciate you guys for your support of not only us, but more importantly, the student athletes out here on the floor for both Delta and for Wapahani. So again, I'm not quite sure what the issue is. Journey Maines, head coach Haven Gates had Journey Maines go over and talk to the up referee, Sean Sherfy. Again, I'm not sure what was said, but we're back to playing nonetheless. So a 2-0 start here for the Eagles. And again, just some communication right there. You had 2 or 3 girls bumping right into each other. That's where, again, it's early. You've only been in gym practicing, I'm assuming, probably right around 3 weeks or so. I'm sure last week you probably didn't get a whole lot done with all the flooding we had around here. It was quite catastrophic, to be quite honest. Not only in our area, but throughout the entire state of Indiana. But these girls, it's gonna take a little bit of time. I'm not saying, hey, we're trying to make excuses, but again, this is their first time playing varsity volleyball. Majority of them, so you gotta give them a little bit of, show them a little bit of grace. So 4-1 right here. Wapahani will send Journey Maines back behind the serving line. So serving error there, 5-1, as we'll have a pair of substitutions. Number 13, Cameron Berry, and number 1, Riley Kelly. Now in the ball game, Kelly will be back to serve. And that will be served out of bounds. 5-2. And again, little things like that, you've got to be able to use that to your advantage. Hopefully now, we can start to put some points together, really start to apply the pressure here on Delta to where it just kind of sends them to being, just playing all out of sorts. But a serving error there that time was Lila Parker, just came to the game just a moment ago. Again, first game, learn from it, get better. Set up there to Baker. A well-placed ball right there. Great job of reading the defense. And then just exploited that one and set that right down, smack dab down right there in the middle of everybody. So 6-3 after the kill there for NOLA. Baker's now back to serve. Set to the left side. I believe that was Barry on the attack. Out to the middle to number 10. That was Brooks. Barnes from the right side finds that back corner. Another well-placed ball, this time by Addie Barnes there for the kill. 6-4. And a mistimed pass and jump right there, or set and jump right there by Brindley Brooks, number 10 here for the Eagles. So it makes this a 6-5 affair. To the left side, this time to Barry. Nice dig there from Maines. Excellent work. Barnes on the attack. Nails that baby right on home. And now we're tied at 6. And that one served into the net there from Baker. We can tie it. It just kind of seems like we're not allowed to take the lead. We did have a lead there in the second set, 2 or 3 different times where we had a 2 or 3 point lead, and then that was pretty much about it. So number 3, Kenley Davis back there to serve. Received there by Clemens, shanked off right there, and that will be an ace for Davis. Yes, that one will fall in there for the Raiders. 8-7. Laney Ledbetter now to serve for Wapahani. So a serving error for Ledbetter. Back to a 9-8 ball game now with number 18 Hadley Spencer and number 4 Bailey Rich. So Rich to serve. Got a 2-point lead for the Eagles here in set number 3. Again, if you're just tuning in for the first time this evening, first of all, we say welcome and thank you for tuning in to the WHS Network. But again, Delta took the first 2 sets, 25-15, 25-19, and currently are in charge of a 10-7 third set lead. Received by Ledbetter. Baker on the mains there from the left side. Rich, good up right there. Spencer to handle that. Baker lays out for it. Clements back to Maines. Oh, just reared back and hit that one a little too far. A little too much mustard on that one. And that will be an ace. And an error, serving error there for Rich. 12-8 now. Kaylee Clements back to serve. Hallie Parks back into the ball game here for Wapahani. Received, set on here to the back row to Rich, and she hit that one well out of bounds. So a hitting error there for Rich that time around. It's had a pretty solid game. You know, I think that, again, the Eagles overall, I mean, again, it's hard to really judge too much, for either team. It's the first game of the season, for goodness sakes. I wouldn't get caught up too much into anything, whether we were playing great or, playing bad, mediocre, whatever the case might be. You really can't read too much into it in the first game of the year. Now, in about the 20th game of the year, that might be different. But, I think a lot of it, I think a lot of things that you really want to look for is your team playing hard? Are they not giving up? Are they putting in max effort? Are you seeing, girls hustling? There's a variety of things. Then again, I'm not going to pretend and say that I'm some genius when it comes to volleyball because, believe me, I'm far from it. But I know enough to obviously sit here and broadcast it and know what I'm talking about. Obviously, yes, I'm sure there's a lot of other things that head coach Haven Gates and the coaching staff is looking for from these girls, but I think that, at least from my standpoint, you know, yeah, there's always things. Yes, you're going to say, yeah, we need to do better. But I think that, you know, if we obviously, you know, we've had our moments with some serving. Obviously, passing has been an issue at times. You know, there's been a little bit of anything and everything. But I think there's also been a lot of bright moments as well. And another one right there from Barnes. And that was a really nice job to play that ricochet there off the backboard there by number 17 here, the Eagles. So great hustle on both sides of the ball right there. Neither team gave up. And, you know, somebody had to score the point that time. Unfortunately, it wasn't Wapahani, but great job there on both sides. So it's going to be number 6, Macy Ramsey, back to serve. That will be received right there by Ledbetter, and Barnes gets it over the net. Unfortunately, it was on the wrong side of the antenna, but you love the hustle. I mean, heck, that was about the only play she did have. She really wasn't given much of an option right there. So a timeout taken here by Wapahani. And we will go ahead and stay right here with you during this timeout to thank some more of our sponsors here this evening. Again, we cannot do what we do without them. So a big thanks here to the Selma American Legion, Post 437, located at 315 South Albany Street in downtown Selma, Indiana. They offer membership opportunities, so to become a Sons of the American Legion member or a woman for membership in the auxiliary, just give them a call at 765-282-7020. They serve lunch and dinner daily, along with daily specials throughout the week. The Legion is open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and open Sunday from 12 to 7. Their menu can be found in the photo section on their Facebook page called Selma Legion. Also, big thanks here to the Liberty Perry Alumni Association. President Richard Morris, along with the Alumni Board, serve as the Wapahani Center and Selma High School alumni. For more information, make sure to check out their website at www.libertyperryalumni.com to receive information on upcoming events and to purchase an engraved brick for the alumni brick walkway in front of Wapahani High School. So big thanks to both of those sponsors here tonight. Again, that's Selma American Legion, Post 437, and the Liberty Perry Alumni Association. And Baker, great attempt right there. Unfortunately, couldn't get that one back over. So 17-9. Again, Ramsey still serving for the Eagles. Set up here to Maines, and just a touch long. That was really a nice pass. You know, great setup right there, the whole deal. And thought Maines was able to, I thought she was going to be able to keep that inside that back line. Just unfortunately, just a touch out of bounds. Parks, Barnes on to Baker there from the back row. Rich will dig that one out. Set up there to Spencer of the Eagles. Again, the left arm stuck out there by Baker, but again, the ball kind of deadened right there. And nobody could get to it after. Barnes on to Ledbetter. Well, free ball action here for the Eagles. Baker lays out, that was number 3, Shaylee Dargo, that laid out for that dig. Nicely done there by Dargo. Off the shoulder, hey, you got to continue to play on no matter where the ball hits you, I guess. And the Raiders will come up with the point after it's all said and done. Job well done by everybody there on the Raiders. And looks like we're going to need a lineup check here for the Raiders. Again, it's been a hot second since they last served, so they was needing to need to figure out who was supposed to be next in line here. So it looks like it's going to be Addie Barnes back to serve. And that will be in there. Wilson on the attack there from the middle.
Racing now back in. That's Paisley Terry. Is back for service. And she deals an ace.
So an ace right there. Received by Ledbetter, but sent back over. Free ball here for the Eagles. Spencer left side right there, dug out by Ledbetter. Barnes to Baker. Rich keeps it alive, and Ramsey gets it over. Ramsey punches that ball up in the air, and out of bounds by Spencer. So the Raiders kept them on their heels and end up coming up there with a big point. Now with a 21-11 ball game as Journey Millions is back to serve. And just out of bounds. So 22-11. We'll have number 13, Cameron Berry, back in here for Delta, as well as Riley Kelly. She was back there to serve just a moment ago. Ledbetter here from the left side, and that just hit a little awkwardly off the side of the hand. Unfortunately, that happens sometimes. So 2 points away here are the Eagles from claiming victory here tonight in the season opener. So match point has arrived. So we will continue on right here, 24-12 after the serving error. Looks like we'll have Savannah Fitzgerald. Nope. Now Savannah Fitzgerald will come into the ball game. Okay, now we're good. Also Lila Parker in the ball game, and she'll be back to serve. Received there by Kelly. Parker will dig it out. Maines is there. Baker gets it over. Free ball here for the Eagles. The left hand right there from Maurer gets the job done here for the Eagles, as they will win this one in straight sets tonight. 25-15, 25-19, 25-12. So the Eagles will begin their season 1-0. Wapahani will fall to 0-1 to start their season. Again, stick around. We'll have a Raiders Live postgame show coming up here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. Maines. Yes. Journey Maines. Koger to the corner to Baker on the way from downtown. There's Baker right there with the rainmaker. To the corner, Carter Bell. On the trigger and making a big time splash right there. Carter Bell. And that's going to be a deep fly ball left center field. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Lovegrove makes that turn. She'll head into second base. Again, hanging the signs behind the plate, Ryder Gibson. And that's going to be rifled right out there to center field. Nice piece of hitting right there by Hayden James. And that All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back live here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network here on YouTube.com, as well as the IHSA Champions Network here with our next Home Elite Real Estate hometown realtor, Courtney Felton. Game break again here at our pregame show, or our postgame show, excuse me. Definitely, a tough night for Wapahani, but at least you have a starting point here. You know where you're at. You know the things you've done well. You know things that you still need to work on. It's just it's a part of it. It really is. I know that sounds cliche and it's just one of those things that yet again I talked about it earlier. When you graduate a whole entire team, basically, you're starting over somewhere, and so now this is our somewhere, a great group of girls. You had, again, 3 to 4 of them that are coming back that had some sort of playing time. Nola Baker definitely by far had the most playing time out of any of them. So, other than her, you had, 2 or 3 of them that had played but not a lot. It's just a whole other dynamic once you play varsity volleyball compared to JV volleyball, and even varsity volleyball compared to 8th grade volleyball. You really can't even compare it. So it's just, again, it's unfortunate, but you have to start from somewhere. And these girls, I think they're eager to learn. I think they're eager to get better. Another thing I mentioned there in the pregame show, you have to trust the process. You got to keep working hard every day in practice. You have to keep wanting to get better and striving. I think in a lot of ways striving for perfection. You're never going to be perfect, but that shouldn't stop you from trying your best to be as perfect as possible. You're going to make mistakes. Things will happen throughout the course of a ball game. That's not going to go your way. It is what it is. Again, you learn from it, you get better from it, and hopefully minimize the mistakes as much as possible, especially as the season goes along. So I think these girls definitely have something to build off of here. I don't think the whole game was bad. Yes, were there some, quite a few bad moments, yes, but I also think there was quite a few good moments as well throughout the course of the ball game. I'm not going to sit here and beat our team over the head. They don't deserve that. And even if they did, I'm still not going to do it anyway. Yes, I'm going to lay out the facts, but I think that there definitely is some promise there. Yes, it wasn't our night, but Thursday night it might be. You never know. It's a brand new night, brand new opportunity. The Lady Raiders will be back on the road Thursday night when they travel over to LaPel to take on the Lady Bulldogs. That'll be a JV start time at 6 o'clock, varsity game to follow. Again, our next broadcast will be coming up next Monday. We've got 3 games next week for y'all. But Monday and Tuesday are at home. Wednesday will be on the road, or Thursday, next week will be on the road at Westell. So Monday we're at home against Richmond, Tuesday at home against Blue River, and then Thursday at Westell next week. And we'll have all 3 games for all of you right here on the WHS Network. We did want to once again thank all of our sponsors here tonight: Sam Pierce Chevrolet, Coldwell Banker, local realtor Brian Van Mater. Also, next Elite Real Estate hometown realtor Courtney Felton, the Liberty Perry Alumni Association, Taylor Architects, Inc., Alfred Ron's and Customs, Air Park Door, as well as Lipscomb Laboratory, Some American Legion Post 437, Dr. Karen J. Wolf, DDSPC, East Jackson Auto Sales, Resolve Tech, LLC, Puerto Vallarta Mexican Restaurant, Broadway, as well as Statham Exteriors and Elite Print Services, Debbie Curtis. So, again, a big thanks to all of our sponsors. We sure do appreciate each and every single one of you. And we thank all of you for tuning in here tonight. Again, we hope you enjoyed the broadcast and got the first one under our belt and many more to come. So thank you all for tuning in. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And until Monday night, I'm Brandon Morvillius alongside cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. We'll see you all next time here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network.